What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes. I'm excited to be live with you. I'm actually in the snow, well, sort of snow. I'm in Utah. Anyways, I'm gonna move into the sun so you guys can see me a little bit better. All right, I wanted to go live and answer a lot of the questions that you guys have been asking me um, through chats, through the Q&A, all sorts of good stuff. Maybe I'm gonna move again. I'm really too much in the sun. But I just wanted to let you go. I love all these questions. Thank you for asking, and let's keep them going. The best thing we can do here to help break the stigma is to be talking about herpes, to be asking questions, and to be answering questions. The more that we know about it, the better that we can do to break the stigma. So let me get started. Um, So I was asked earlier um, about if your IgG test goes negative, does that mean that you have herpes? And if you do, does it mean you'll have less outbreaks? So this is a really great question, a little bit about IgG, IgGM. The IgGM is what is tested when you have an active outbreak. So if the IgGM levels are elevated, it most likely means that you have an active outbreak. IgG is the antibody test for the HSV virus, for the herpes virus. So you're not going to necessarily test positive um, if it's a first outbreak or it's brand new in your system. So what do I mean by that? So a lot of times our body can take weeks, months, even years to create antibodies to this virus. So sometimes you can have herpes. You could have tested positive through a swab test, which means they actually swab the actual virus. They get the DNA out of the virus and they put it under a microscope and they look at it. Um, yeah, you can actually test negative for an IgG test, but still have the virus. There's other times I've heard of people going negative. That has happened here or there, but it still means that you still have the virus. It means that it's still going to be in your system. It doesn't mean that it goes away. At this point, we cannot get rid of viruses. We have them in our body for life. So we're in this together with our fun little herpes virus. Um, so does that mean you're going to have less outbreaks, more outbreaks? Um, there's really no way to tell. There's really no way to answer that. Some people get multiple outbreaks. Some people get no outbreaks. I get basically no outbreaks orally, yet I've been tested for it and I've had really elevated IgG levels. It just means that my body's probably fighting it. So that's kind of an example for that. Another thing that I was asked by you guys is like, okay, well, is there a diet I can follow, or do you have recipes or things like that? And there is a diet. There's arginine and lysine. Arginine, well, let me back up. Lysine is, no, let me back up again. So arginine and lysine are both essential amino acids. They're proteins. We consume them through our food. We don't actually get them like I'm getting vitamin D right now from the sun. Um, we can only get these essential proteins from consuming foods. They're essential. They help our muscle growth, our skeletal growth. They help with the cardiovascular system. They help with all that. They're really, really helpful, especially for athletes. The thing is arginine is something that fuels the herpes virus. It's like lighter fluid to the virus. The virus loves arginine. It allows it to replicate. It allows it to potentially cause outbreaks. On the flip side, there is lysine, which is the opposite effect of arginine on the herpes virus. The herpes virus does not like lysine. It actually suffocates it. It keeps it from replicating, which means it keeps it dormant in our system. So there are lots of foods that you can choose to consume or not consume. One of the things I don't want you to do, and something that I originally was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to eat lysine again, or I'm never going to have arginine again, ever, 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 because it causes outbreaks. Well, it's not possible. It's just like saying, like, I'm never going to breathe fresh air again. I'm never going to get vitamin D from the sun again. Like, you have arginine again, ever, 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 because it causes outbreaks. Well, it's not possible. It's just like saying, like, I'm never going to breathe fresh air again. I'm never going to get vitamin D from the sun again. Like, you have to have it. It's essential. You need it to live. It's in the foods that we consume, period, the end. You can't not have it. But what you can do is choose high lysine foods like dairy. Dairy is very, very high in lysine. Like proteins, very high in lysine. Vegetables, very high in lysine. So there's a lot of great things here that you can consume and kind of play around with. Things that are high in arginine, which are really hard, I think, for me as a woman, because it's a really good snack, are nuts. You know, peanuts are not nuts, but peanuts are high in arginine. nuts are high in arginine, coconut are high in arginine, like the meat and the milk are high in arginine. Okay, so something else. Hi there. Hi there. Hi there. I was asked about if I've ever been rejected for disclosing or if I've ever not disclosed. So I've never not disclosed that I have genital herpes. That's always been something I've disclosed. Always, 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 always. Um, Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes I was like, it shot me in the foot because I used it as a way to get out of having sex. And sometimes it didn't work out for me. I was like, I have to come up with a new excuse. But other times there would be times I disclose and the guys would be like, yeah, okay, like, thanks, I'm gonna pass. Or, I'm basically they weren't into me. Basically at the end of the day, they're not into me. So I don't want us to look at a herpes as like, oh my gosh, I can never date again. I can never be intimate again. I can never have a one night stand, or I can never do these things. Um, you still can. It's just a matter of disclosing. It's a matter of realizing, like, okay, we're weeding out maybe the ones that weren't in my best interest. That's how I look at it. My top three favorite bands right now. Bands. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Right now, well, my favorite song right now is the Elton John one with Dua Lipa. I love that one. That one's my new favorite song right now. Um, I'm a country, so I love Chris Stapleton. I love Eric Church. Um, I like Taylor Swift. Um, I also love like Salt and Pepper and TLC, and these are kind of where I am. It's a good question. Thanks, guys. Okay, let me see what some other great questions were that I got from you guys. Just pulling them up, looking. Um, Pregnancy. Okay, I got this asked a lot. I recently had a baby. Love my little boy. Anyways, did I get a lot of outbreaks? Will you get a lot of outbreaks? Is it going to cause outbreaks? I don't know. So the way that my doctor described it, he's like, look, when you are pregnant, you are a completely different species. The second try, I had a few, I had like one or two here or there. In my third trimester, I had multiple outbreaks, mostly back to back. The reason why is there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of nerves, you're stressed out, you're having a baby, like your life's about to change. So I would say if that's a concern you have, you can't really predict it. It's like saying like, am I gonna have an outbreak tomorrow? I don't know. I could not. I don't know. Um, but I wouldn't let that hold you back from having a baby. I wouldn't let it get in the way. Um, I would just enjoy the process and see what happens. As far as being concerned about transmitting herpes to your child, that is something you don't need to. It's a conversation that needs to happen with a doctor, but it's not a huge, huge, huge concern. Um, if you're not having an outbreak during delivery, then you can have a vaginal delivery if you're on the antiviral. If you are, you can have a cesarean, and there we go. All right. HSV1 disclosure. This is one that is tricky because so many people have HSV1 orally that we do not disclose because we don't know that we're supposed to because it's not an STD, but it is. And did I disclose I have HSV1 orally? I didn't early on. I never got outbreaks. It didn't impact my life. I didn't think I needed to. I disclosed to boyfriends. I didn't kiss multiple people. It wasn't something I really wasn't kissing a lot of people. So when it was somebody I was with, I absolutely disclosed. Just like I disclosed genital herpes. For you, if that's something that is speaking to you and resonating to you, it can be a really easy conversation as, hey, I get cold sores, just letting you know, like you probably get them too. And he or she will probably be like, yeah, oh my gosh, my dad gets them or my mom gets them. Yeah, totally. I know what they are all about. Like, yeah, we're good. It'll be something along the lines of that. And that just can help us feel better. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for all your questions. I will keep them going and coming. Keep asking them and we'll make them happen. Bye, guys.